Hey everybody, Greg Griffin here with just a quick tip. I was just cleaning out my desk drawer and I came across one of my favorite things in the world um, that I learned about from an instructional coach in the past, and that is cooperative learning participation grade, or I affectionately call them group grade cards. I used to have learning groups that were kind of ratty and unruly, and whenever I would try to put my kids in groups, they would party and be off task and talk to other groups across the room, and not everyone would contribute to the work. And so I reached out to my instructional coach at the time, and she told me about these nifty group grade cards that you can implement. And it's a great way to keep your kids, to hold your students accountable when you put them in groups. So when you put them in groups, you simply give a card to each group, and these are just printed on cardstock and laminated where you can reuse them over and over again. And you go over the criteria that's on the card with the entire class. And you say, okay, this is what I'm going to be looking for while you're working in learning groups today. Are we on task? Is our conversation only about our work? So we can't be talking about Cardi B or whoever they're into, or whatever. We got to talk about the work. Are we communicating only within our group? Is everybody contributing to the work equally? No, nobody riding anybody's coattails, no hitchhikers. Okay. Are we aware of our noise level? That was important. My kids used to get way too loud when I put them in groups. So I've got, you just have to put on the card what you want to see. Are we producing quality work? And are we cleaning up after ourselves? Okay. So what you do is you take an expo marker, or I don't know if I'd use a vis-a-vis. I'd probably use an expo marker of some kind. And when you pass these out, you just kind of say, okay, I'm going to start you guys out with a 100 for your group grade for the day. And you just mark them right there with the expo marker. And you say, okay, as long as you do these things that are on this card at the end of the period, I will give you a 100 for your participation grade for the day. All right. And then you leave it with them, and hopefully you won't have to come back and adjust the grade, but this is adjustable. That's why it's printed on, that's why it's been laminated, and that's why we're using the expo marker to write on it with, because if they start getting off task, or they start talking to other groups, or doing things you don't want to see, you just kind of meander slowly over to the group and say, hey, I just want to remind you guys that we're supposed to only be communicating within our group, and I saw y'all talking to another group, so maybe you want to adjust their grade. I'm going to adjust your grade. Okay, I'm going to drop it down to about an 80 or wherever you want to put it, and say, okay, I'm going to come back in a few minutes to reevaluate. All right, and see, usually, and if it's really bad, I mean, you can mark it down to lower or whatever, but I promise you, if you implement this, I've never had to give a group less than 100, because they will start holding each other accountable if you come adjust their grade. And they will say, hey man, get it together, I want to make 100 for today, this is an easy grade. And so normally you can drift back over and say, oh, y'all are doing so much better, and you can erase it easily and adjust it back to 100. Sorry. These are the cooperative learning cards. It was not my idea originally. I got it from somebody that I taught under, but I kind of made it my own and tweaked it a little bit. If you would like for me to make you a set of these, just send me an email. I've got some already that I've got made, a whole bunch. I was looking at my desk and I said, these need to be in the classroom. So if you want a set of the group grade cards, just let me know and I will drop them off to your classroom. Thanks.